Hello and welcome to our daily sketching routine. So in this video I'm actually starting a new sketchbook. I finished the previous one and it was actually, I drew on the back of the back cover, and I actually recorded a video about how I sketched this. But I wasn't explaining it too well because I was still figuring out how to do it, like sketch it from imagination. But I'll explain it a little bit better. Maybe I'll kind of use this as a guide, as an outline. But yeah, this sketchbook is actually, I may have mentioned in a video that when I started my channel like 2 years ago, I only did it for a little bit, like maybe not even a year, and then I had to get a job that wasn't art related for like another year, and then I came back, and now this is like version 2.0 of my channel. And that job was involved bookbinding, which was interesting because I like books. And this was one of the test books that I had to do before I ran a job. I would have to run like a test and like trim, so it's just blank. So I'm just going to use that. I have a couple of them that I took with me when I quit. So yeah, I don't know what the paper will be like with the, like I'm just going to use my usual felt tip pen here. But yeah, that'll be good to just, here's what I sketched, and again I'll just use this as an outline, but like maybe explain it a little bit better. Because I really had to give it some thought, because it is complicated or complex. It doesn't have to be complicated, and that's kind of the point, is that I'm wanting to simplify it, like not only for myself but for these videos. Can you see that? I'll keep this to the side. But yeah, it was weird because it was on the back cover, so it felt like I was sketching on cardboard. So let's do the routine of saying that it is Friday. Yeah, this is the first page, and I usually skip this first page. I don't know. I see other people doing that too. I thought I was the only one, but apparently not. October 4th, 2024. And this is more tips, even more tips on sketching the shoulders. So in the previous video, not previous, but the one that I recorded that I am redoing right now, I did do some pencil sketches before I outlined it with ink, and I would recommend that, especially if you're working out the pose, because there are a lot of parts to like this area. So you can see that. Okay, and so these are some tips. So one, you can't rush it. Definitely when I started to try to hurry, I didn't draw it correctly. So that's one tip. The other is that, so I'll start a 5-minute timer, by the way, right now. The other is that the construction is pretty important, especially if it's a pose that like you're not used to or is complicated. And of course this is from imagination, so this is that's a big part of this. So do studies. I'm going to show like how to sketch from imagination, but like leave enough room to where you can look up reference, basically. Well, this paper is pretty thin. I already got water on it from my coffee. So we'll see how it goes. I think it should work for these videos. So first I'll go over the anatomy. So see, this is our usual construction right here. And so the anatomy is that the deltoids are triangles, or it's a triangle, and it's made up of 3 parts. So you have, like, from the front view, you're basically seeing the front view of the deltoid with the with some of this. So this is the side view. Yeah, the trapezius. So part of it is, because it is from imagination, part of it for me is kind of drawing what I already know how it should look, but at the same time simplifying it enough so that I can understand like the simple forms. But going back to what I was saying about the construction, yeah, use a pencil. I mean, I'd recommend that. And if I were working on an illustration or like a comic like I plan on doing, I would use a pencil to just, like, this paper's not too bad actually with the pencil. It probably wouldn't take, it's probably pretty good with like pencil and pen, but it probably wouldn't take like a lot of other stuff. So play around with this. I mean, I've gone over this in the previous videos. Play around with the construction. And I do want to say that fix the construction before trying to fix like the drawing. It's if the construction is wrong, then the drawing is just gonna it won't be fun. It's not fun to try to fix it. I mean, do it if you have to. So what I'm sketching out here is kind of the basic anatomy, which is very useful, especially if you are drawing from imagination and wanting to pose the figure. So let's say you're looking up reference, just work on this construction part. So kind of use these tips that I'm giving. Like what I'm showing is like this is like the simplified form, useful for drawing from imagination, drawing figures from imagination. So don't underestimate this part. This is kind of this will make or break a lot of the picture, honestly. So I'm kind of going off of what I had over here, so just kind of like different views, so like 3/4 view. So get used to this is what I'm saying. And remember like the basic construction. It'll save the drawing for you and will make it more enjoyable in the long run. So again, there's 3 parts to the deltoid. So there's like the front part that rotates the arm. So it's going to rotate the arm this way. There's this part that raises the arm. That's 5 minutes. I'll start another 5 minutes timer. And then this back part of the deltoid is the part that makes the arm like rotate backwards this way. yeah. And again, all this basic construction here is very important. That's why I'm taking time to sketch this out. And like once you have this, it's much easier. Then the other thing that I went over is kind of like when the arm starts to raise. So when the arm is raising in that kind of position, make sure all of this is taken care of so you're not thinking about it. And then you can go ahead and like raise the arm upwards. And just make sure that this skeleton looks correct. Then you won't have to think about this part. And then from here, I would probably place where the pectorals goes. I would probably make sure I know where the trapezius is, and then that'll give me so the trapezius is connected to the clavicle here, the collarbone. And then so when the arm is being raised, it's using that middle part of the deltoid. So you'll get like a flexed look to it. And then underneath, it's just kind of like this, because this is like the latissimus right here, the latissimus muscle. See? And one reason I wanted to sketch it in pencil, not only for the construction, like because it's helpful, but also to ink it. It's basically you need this line, because that's where the bicep and tricep and stuff, and then you need like that, and then so yeah, it's not too bad. It kind of bleeds a little. It's similar to the previous sketchbook. So from here, so you have the lats right here. It's kind of like that. So that's kind of how you get the armpit area. Kind of like that. And the main thing is to think about like these muscles, that's why knowing the anatomy helps, like where they overlap right here. Like that's where they connect to the skeleton. Is that on camera? Kind of like that. So I explained it better here than I did in the previous. It does take practice, so keep on practicing. What else did I go over? So I also went over this tricky part. So again, since it is kind of tricky, let's sketch it out in pencil. So this is the pose that like where the arm is pretty much. So again, when you turn the figure to the side, I like to kind of make it more round looking like that. Like that's the shoulder joint. And then if I were to just raise the arm up like this, let's just say that. So that's 5 minutes. I find that it's also better for me not to take too long on these videos, because then I start to maybe lose focus or something. But like, this is a tricky position, so this is where construction is pretty important. So from this view, for example, if that's, so place the collar and then the scapula or shoulder blade. So you want to place that. See, you want to place the rib cage, and then you know where the pectorals and then the lats are kind of like right here. Kind of like that. And then you want to place the, well, one, go ahead and figure out the neck. So it's gonna, the spine is right here. And so that's like the spine, and then the head is, the skull is right here. So that'll give you the neck. So yeah, if you're drawing from imagination and you have a pose this complex, you definitely want to sketch it. And so from here, you're going to want to place the trapezius, and it's connected to the back like this. And I guess that's from the word like trapezoid, maybe. It's kind of a trapezoid shape. So yeah, the arm is being raised. So from here, see, the deltoid is raising. Right here, that's basically the triceps right there. I've already confused myself. This is a pretty tricky pose here. Plus I had like that other sketch. So the deltoids flows into the chest, the pectorals. So that's a big part of it. Let's see if we can figure that out. I can kind of see it. So from here, I don't know that it's even possible to get in the, it looks like it's possible. So from here, it looks like I can see the deltoid right there. And it flows into the pectorals right here. Now I'm doing this because someone in the comment asked about doing more and like examples of the shoulders, and I don't know that this is exactly what you're talking about, but I mean, I can do other videos too. So yeah, this is important. Like this is kind of like a cape, kind of flows like this. Yeah, see that? So the deltoid sort of flows into the pectorals here. And then everything kind of comes from like that original joint right here. That. And the biceps, kind of like that. And you kind of have to, again, since it is from imagination, you kind of have to study a lot and then like sort of develop your eye for it. So from here, like you see some of that deltoid right there, and then probably everything just kind of comes from the armpit area. Yeah, and then you have like the back muscles, but the shoulder blade is kind of, it's being rotated also, so like the shoulder blade, kind of have to keep that in mind. And then again, if you were using just pencil, then maybe look up reference, or when you have a chance to actually do some studies, just sketch from it, and then like kind of like what I'm doing right now, where see what you can come up with on your own. So that's like the elbow and the forearm. And so I would adjust like that, for example. So this is also another example of fixing the, just making the drawing look correct. So it's not about being like anatomically like perfect with it. It's about drawing. So from here, I would rework because I'm gonna go off of like this drawing. It's like, it's okay. It's not that correct. But so what's happening here is that the trapezius is hidden because of the foreshortening. I picked a pretty extreme angle here, or like foreshortened angle. So you wouldn't see the trapeze. It's like being hidden by the deltoid here. And then so is like the collarbone is being hidden by the pectoral muscle. So I just need to establish where the neck is. So I'm going to say it's like right here. And then I need to establish the jaw. Again, you can also ink it kind of like the way I am here, and leave enough room to where you could go in and maybe like fix it up. It just depends on what you want to do. If it's just a sketch, then that's fine. You can still, the main thing is to answer like whatever questions you have with the sketch. So again, because of the drawing that I ended up with, I'm gonna kind of go off of that, like just do a simplified version, like outlined version of this kind of thing, and then leave enough room to where I could adjust it if I wanted. So I'm just gonna keep it kind of simple. Yeah. And then kind of look up reference, and it is very complicated because it's foreshortened because of the way that I drew it. It's not actually straight. It's like stuff's being hidden. So yeah, I'm not sure. This is what I would do, and yeah, unless if I had to maybe fake this. I mean, I feel like if I'm doing a drawing where the anatomy is that important, I probably would do my best to find good reference. But hopefully it'll still give you some ideas. I think the lats are kind of like that, maybe. And then maybe get rid of some of the pencil line, and then, yeah, I would look up reference. It's not terrible, but it's also not that correct. So this is a little bit more correct. Right here. but not really. I mean, that's not too bad either. That's okay. I mean, I just wanted to like sort of challenge myself to see if I could just draw that from memory or imagination and memory. So I think, so that's another 5 minutes. What I'll do is, the sketchbook has already become kind of warped from water, but it's okay. I mean, it's basically just printer paper, I guess. But it was good to go ahead and get it started. So yeah, it takes some work. What I'll do is to kind of wrap this up is, so we went over this right here, and then you can see some examples. Like this is sort of the different shapes. It gets stretched out, like the lower, like when you lower the arm, and then when it raises, it flexes, so it gets more rounder. This was for like if it's not as muscular, and I'll do some videos on the legs. I think tomorrow I kind of want to take a break from like figure drawing and do the video about the thumbnails. But hopefully this will help out right here. And then here's some more. This is boxing, again with that kind of complex view. This is from yesterday, right here. And then I played around with, again, from imagination. But then sometimes, like, I'll do like studies where I'm just kind of looking at reference and then sort of switching back and forth between reference and just seeing how much I can remember. But it just takes study. There's no real shortcut. I mean, I guess the shortcut is like the tips that I'm sharing as far as how to set up the figure and stuff. So yeah, with all of that said, thanks for joining me today. Thanks for supporting the channel. I really appreciate it. And until next time, keep on sketching.